Hey, how's it going? This week, I wanted to share with you guys a list of flowers I put together to assist with forgiveness. So, I have a list of 9 flowers that I put together using the Bach Flower Remedies. And yeah, so I like to just jump right in. So, let's go. I looked at what's the importance of forgiveness in regards to our spiritual growth and just our mental and spiritual health, right? So the importance of forgiveness. Forgiveness is what's gonna really free us from any blocks or hindrances to our spiritual growth. It will accelerate. It will help to accelerate a new beginning for us. Whether that's a new beginning moving forward, if we're leaving something behind, or even just a new beginning with whomever it is that we need to forgive, right? So forgiveness washes away the negativity within us, which in turn transforms anger and hurt into healing and peace. So forgiveness is not about just like letting, someone who's undeserving back into your life or giving someone a pass. It's about just making like the conscious decision to let go of the grudge, right? To just let go and just stop holding on to the grudge. Really, that's it. You don't even need to talk to the other person in order to do this, right? Okay. So, with those things in mind of how we want to move forward and transform our anger and hurt into healing and peace, I, looking through the 38 Bach Flower Remedies, I'm like 38 or 37? 38. Um, yeah, so I made a list and there's 9 flowers on the list. So let's go. So our first flower on this list of flowers to assist with forgiveness is agrimony. So agrimony will help us to acknowledge and transcend our negative emotions and worries, right? So that real feelings of peace can be found. So agrimony is going to promote emotional honesty with ourselves so that we can stop denying and avoiding our emotional pain in order to release it. And then once we can release it, we can start to forgive ourselves and other people, right? That's going to help us move forward. So picking this, again, I felt that a lot of times we could hold on to a grudge and not forgive someone and not even really be clear about what our real true feelings and emotions are around it. Like, you could think you're hurt, but in actuality, you've been really just holding on to these feelings of jealousy because they chose to hang out with another friend, and not you. It could be something that trivial, or it could be something on a that really affect you emotionally. But the main thing is to be able to identify your emotions, understand where they're coming from, so that you can better understand what it is you're feeling and why it is that you're having such a difficult time forgiving, right? Okay. So next on my list of flowers to assist with forgiveness is cherry plum. So cherry plum is one that is going to help us as we, are soul searching. Like I said, I think it's important to really search within why you're having a difficult time with forgiving. Where does it stem from? Like, where does the hurt and all those things stem from, right? So as we search our souls to figure these things out, cherry plum can assist us with integrating our insights into our daily lives, right? And it does this by penetrating the subconscious mind, right? So with this, I have like a personal example. I actually, okay, so let me think. Personal example, cherry plum. Okay, so I had a issue with someone whom I was friends with years ago, and we did eventually end our friendship. But prior to, working through my forgiveness, I did feel like I was mistreated to a certain extent. I felt like things were said to me that were hurtful. And, I just had my whole thing. Now, the thing of it was that I was so used to my belief that I had, right? In our subconscious mind, that's where all of our beliefs are. Like, that's where our beliefs are, and that's where we respond from, right? So subconsciously, we're responding to whatever our subconscious beliefs are, right? Without even really thinking about what it is we believe truly, right? Okay, so I had my belief about her and about what happened between us. And then I had a moment of, I love like the aha moments, right? So I had an aha moment of like what really happened between us. And I had to come to terms with, okay, some of the things that she said to me, they had some truth, right? Maybe I didn't like her delivery. Maybe I didn't think it was good timing. Maybe I just didn't like it at all, right? But it doesn't change the fact that maybe she thought she was being a good friend to me in what she said, because there was some truth to it. I may have felt differently, but that doesn't change the fact that perhaps now through my own soul searching, that her intent may not have been what I initially thought it was, right? And so with that being, I caught myself like right in the middle of telling that same story, right, that I had on repeat. And I had to remind myself like, oh yeah, I forgot that I decided that. And so with Cherry Plum, it's going to help you integrate those insights. It's really great when we have these aha moments, but they're also very fleeting. So it's something that seems so tangible to you in that moment. It could just slip away, at least from my experience. It could slip away and you could totally forget that you even thought it, that you ever came to that conclusion. And so Cherry Plum is going to help us with that. So once we come to these insights about ourselves, about the situation, about other people, whomever we're dealing with, it's going to help us to integrate those insights into our daily lives so that we can, it'll just help us with this journey of trying to forgive and move forward, right? Okay, so that's Cherry Plum. The third flower on my list of flowers to assist with forgiveness is Heather, right? Ah, perfect. So, like how I was saying, I had that story, right? Heather is great for that. For those of us that tend to get stuck in thinking about ourselves and our situation, right? We get our story down and we overshare it. We overshare whatever somebody has done to us. We overshare with anybody that'll listen in hopes of like our victimhood, right? To be validated, right? They did this to us. Can you believe it? We want them to tell us back like, oh yeah, they're wrong. Basically is what we're looking for. So Heather will allow for emotional self-sufficiency so that we can handle and work through our emotional pain, right? Without feeling the need to have an audience and someone there to validate it. And so with that thought, I feel that if we can let go, right, of the story that we've created, then we can then start to let go of being the victim and letting go of the grudge as well, right? So, yeah. So Heather, hopefully will help us start to release that story. Help us stop feeling the need to just share the story constantly, because how can we forgive and move on if we're constantly repeating it, replaying it? I'm sure you get mad all over again just telling this story, right? Okay, so that is number 3. That was Heather. Number 4 on my list of flowers to assist with forgiveness is Chicory. Okay, so Chicory, let's see. So with Chicory, I felt that oftentimes, we may find it difficult to forgive because we may be too wrapped up in seeing like someone else's choices and behaviors as a thwart or like as an affront to us, right? So with Chicory, Chicory's gonna help us. What am I trying to say? Okay, so Chicory will assist us, help us, whatever, with help us in realizing and accepting that everybody, right, is following their own life plan, right? This one is deep to me. And I'm going to try to take you there with me. So everybody is following their own life plan, and we choose how we let another person's actions affect us. So with this, I felt that if we can come to that conclusion that everybody is on their path, everybody is really trying to do their best. I believe that everybody's really trying to do their best, trying to make the best decisions for themselves. And I mean, and of course, maybe there's people who have no regard for you, right? Then, you pick another flower. But as far as chicory goes, I did it with the thought of, everybody's on their own path and they need to make choices and decisions that are best for them. And in that moment, it may seem that the decision they made that was best for them, maybe it seems like it's selfish. Maybe it hurt us, but I truly believe that eventually in the long run, you will be able to see the benefit of whatever that was. Even if it's just simply them being out of your life and you realize you dodged a bullet or, whatever it is. So basically, if maybe we can come to that conclusion that what was done was not a personal attack on me. That's them, and I got the right to choose how I decide to feel about this. And so we could hold on to it and be angry, or we can try and look at it and figure out the blessing in the lesson, right? So with chicory, we can hopefully respect others' individuality and their freedom to basically suck, and ours to choose how we respond to their suckiness, right? Okay, so that's number 4. That was chicory. And the 5th flower on my list of flowers to assist with forgiveness is holly. Holly, that is the heart-opening flower. It is the forgiveness flower, right? It's going to help anybody who has a hard time with forgiving. It's going to, that's it. It's the forgiveness flower. It's going to count, it's going to assist us with any feelings that are counter to love and forgiveness, basically. Anger, jealousy, bitterness, envy, rage, all of those things. So really, holly, whichever flower on the list resonates with you, holly would be a great one to, as support, to just, put with whatever flower or flowers resonate. Holly would be a great support to anything on this list. Okay, so that's holly. The 6th flower on my list of flowers to assist with forgiveness is Scleranthus. So Scleranthus will help us not to go back on our decision to forgive. Oftentimes you may, this could be in a romantic situation, friend, family, whatever. You have an issue. An issue arises, we discuss it, we decide to, move forward. I forgive you and we're going to move forward. Then something comes up and then we bring all that back up, right? You think we're going to forgive and move forward, and then something else comes up and you just bring it right back, right? There's really no moving forward, because every time we move forward, you bring up something from back here and bring us all the way back. So that's where my mindset was with that. So it will assist in strengthening our inner resolve to move forward and not always fall back on being the victim of the past every time something new arises. If we're going to forgive, we need to forgive and to move forward. So if this is like someone that you're still dealing with, someone you may still be in a relationship with, forgiving and moving forward, like to be able to really let go something that you truly want to forgive and move forward with, that's just going to help your relationship blossom. Because if you continue to, revert back to, well, remember that, this is just like that time you did that. Like I said, you're never going to move forward. You move forward, but you always bring it right back. And so that's great for that. Scleranthus. I think I said it all. Okay, so we are running through these. I like it. Why not? Okay, so number 7 on my list of flowers to assist with forgiveness is sweet chestnut. Sweet chestnut brings awareness that we must experience darkness to appreciate the light, right? So, with that, I figured it would be helpful with forgiveness because you could maybe look at the situation and it would help you understand that, not everything that happens, I think I've said this already, basically the same thing, like the lesson in the blessing in the lesson. There we go. The blessing in the lesson. So, um, you know, you may go through dark, difficult times or experience, um, hurtful situations or experiences with people. But knowing that because of those experiences, well, first of all, nothing lasts forever, right? That they're temporary. So that you go through these experiences that may not, um, that you may deem negative or something, but knowing that there's the light on the at the other end of the tunnel, to give some hope, to know, it will help us move toward forgiveness. Um, Help us move toward forgiveness by assisting the release of any embarrassment, mortification, or extreme emotional pain and suffering. So to know you may experience this embarrassment, mortification, and emotional pain and suffering, but that coming through these things will allow you to grow, right? To get to know yourself better, right? Seeing that opportunity for growth and understanding of self, so that we can let go and move forward. So that's sweet chestnut. That's sweet chestnut. Okay. So the 8th flower on my list of flowers to assist with forgiveness is Vervain. So Vervain. Sometimes we may be unable to forgive because of our own argumentative tendencies and over concern for others, right? Not really realizing that we are trying to impose our will and ideas on others, and therefore we may become unable to consider other viewpoints, or that maybe we're the ones that actually need forgiving. So this kind of makes me think of, as well as chicory, like these may be good for parents with adult children or teenage children, I guess. I don't know if you're really like having a hard time forgiving, anybody younger than that, but anybody, I guess. But it makes me think of a parent, in a sense of this enforcing your will on someone, just like with chicory, or was it Heather? Heather feeling that, someone's choices and decisions are an affront to you, right? Um, so that you could see that, I'm sorry, I got a little mixed up trying to remember which flower it was. So what am I saying here? Not really realizing that we're imposing our will, right? So you may feel that I think this is for people who want it their way, are very vocal about wanting it their way, and when it's not their way, they're mad, they want to cut you off, things like that. This flower will help people who feel that way to begin to be more open to arguments that conflict with what it is they believe. Whether that's whatever they believe about themselves, about the other person, about the situation, so that, they can allow others to lead their own lives without taking it personally. So, I mean, I think that makes sense, but I'll try to explain it a little better. Just basically, I mean, let's say a parent who's like, you be a doctor, you're going to be a doctor, you go to grad school, um, fight with the kid. I want to be a nurse. No, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. just on the kid, just, you know, fighting with them about the grades, fighting about this, you know, just, and so the kid decides, you know, I'm dropping out. I don't want to go to school. I'm tired of the arguing. I just don't want to do this anymore. Now the parent can't forgive. Now the parent is feeling as though this person, this child, or their child, I guess not necessarily a child. You guys, I told you I'm bad at examples, but I hope it's making sense. That, you know, they're simply living their own path, right? They're simply living their path. And yes, that was Chicory. I said it was Heather. I had to go back and look. It was gonna drive me crazy. Okay, so just the same as with Chicory, that they're on their own path, and that it really has nothing to do with you, right? Live your own life. Don't let someone's choices that really have no effect on you affect you, basically. So with Vervain, that was basically similar to Chicory, allowing people to live out their own paths, not enforcing your will on them, or feeling as though they've done something to you because of their choices. So if we can look at these things, see ourselves and how we're showing up and operating in these situations, perhaps it would make it easier for us to forgive and move forward. Because again, always remember that the forgiveness is for you, not the other person, right? So the ninth and final flower on my list of flowers to assist with forgiveness is wild rose. So wild rose will assist with taking responsibility for ourselves and our emotions and how we choose to react and respond to what we perceive is being done to us. So wild rose is going to push us to settle a situation, right? And not to just simply let things slide or to put anything that happens or to just put up with anything that happens. Excuse me. So with this one, taking responsibility for ourselves and our emotions and how we choose to react. I looked at this when I think of this one in a sense of I'm trying to come up with examples. So I thought of this one as someone who has a hard time forgiving because they don't even really admit to themselves that there's something to forgive. Somebody who just lets things slide, you know, it's cool, I ain't gonna trip. They let it slide and they kind of pretend that everything's okay. So really, if Wild Rose resonates, I would think Agrimony would be really good as well because it's going to help you identify um, your emotions and to be able to articulate what it is you're actually feeling and where it's coming from. So Wild Rose, I looked at it as someone who often allows things to slide, who doesn't speak up when there's something that someone has done or has said, or you know, just something that may typically call for a discussion and forgiveness. Someone who just won't even go there and will just, you know, bottle things up, basically. Um, so I looked at it like Wild Rose is going to help you try to find a solution and to know that like your actions or your inaction on speaking up for yourself when something is happening, saying, hey, you know, I think in order to allow someone to apologize to you and for you to forgive them, if you're in a relationship, because that's really where my mind was with the Wild Rose. It's when you're still dealing with this person, right? It's not somebody that is gone now that you need to forgive, right? Like Holly, maybe. But you need to be able to address it, and so that's why, like, to help to push you to be solution oriented, so that you can address things, forgive, and move forward. And also, I would think, you know, if you're the type of person that lets things slide and bottle things up, that you probably need to forgive yourself in some ways, forgive the other person. But I would think mostly forgiving yourself for not speaking up for yourself, for not being honest with yourself about how you feel, not being honest with the other person about how you feel and how they've affected you. Yes. that is Wild Rose. That is the final flower on my list of flowers to assist. Again, forgiveness is important because it's going to help move us forward on our journeys. It's not going to kill you. Let's just say it's not going to kill you. It's not for the other person. It's not a way of saying, it's okay, I'll give you a pass, right? It is for you. It's important for your spiritual growth and development. It's important for your healing. So, yeah, the flowers are here to help you on a journey that you're already, hopefully on and working on. And, I encourage you to also, there's so many things out there, affirmations, meditations, if you're into these types of things, crystals, if you're into that type of thing. And just the intention to let it go. I think it's important, just the power of speech, to just really say, I guess that would kind of be like an affirmation, but I release this. I would do a lot of times, I forgive you, I thank you, I love you, and I release you. Something along that line. I found it helpful in the times where I really needed to work on letting go, moving forward, and forgiving for whatever reason. As well as with myself. I mean, I had to forgive myself for quite a few things. So, you know, blessings on your journey. I hope you guys are able to find forgiveness in your hearts for whomever it is. Remember, mainly that we're on our own journeys, and whatever has happened, I promise you, there's a lesson there. There's an opportunity for growth there. So search for it. Once you find it, hold on to it, and integrate it. Remember it, and move forward, because again, it's going to accelerate your new beginning. It's all for you. I hope this was helpful. I'd love to hear from you. Did the flowers resonate? Any of them resonate with you? Would you try any of them? Let us know in the comments, okay? That's it. Till next time. Peace.